Hey there, VIPs. I'm going to show you how to apply color strip nails. So here are my strips I've got. Check these out. Aren't they gorgeous for patriotic, for Independence Day? They could be for Labor Day. They could be for Veterans Day. Lots of different options. Patriots Day. Lots of different options that we can use these for. So first thing that you want to do is prep your nails. So I have already done most of the steps of that. So you want to push your cuticles back. And that is a really, really important step. Do not skip that step. If your cuticles are sticking out and you try to adhere the strip to your cuticle, it is not going to adhere very well and you're going to get peeling up from the base of your nail, and you definitely don't want that. It will, number one, it won't look very good. They'll chip from back there, they'll peel up, they won't last for very long. So definitely want to make sure that you do this. Also, my nails, the surface of my nails a lot of times are a little bit rough. Not really rigid, like with ridges, but just a little bit rough. And my nails peel. So sometimes I have to use the buffing block, and I use that just to smooth it out. So if I've not had anything on my nails for a couple of days and they start to peel, I try to get all of that that's going to peel buffed off. So again, same thing, you want a good solid base for your nail to adhere to. You can either trim your nails to whatever you like, you can file them. I recommend a glass file. These are a little bit better than like an emery board or even like a professional style, like an emery type file, because these are not going to they're not going to leave like jagged edges. They're actually going to close your fingernail after you file with it. So I always use those just to give a nice edge, or just to file my nails down if they've grown a lot. I don't like really long nails. Does not work for me. I break them. And I type a lot, and I don't know how people with long nails type. I don't understand it, because even my little short nails will run into the keys, and it bothers me. So once you have your nails totally prepped, I usually would recommend that after you buff them, that you should give them a wash, just in soap and water. Rub them really good, get all of that filing off of your nails off, and then we are going to move ahead onto the next step. So I actually paused the video and got up because I realized I had not washed my nails, even though I said that that's what you should do. So once you have all of that done, first step should be to take your Color Street prep pad. And these are just alcohol pads. If you lose the one out of your nail set, or if you are stretching your nail set to get 2 applications, which I'm actually going to show you how to do that, because if you've got short nails, you can do that. This is just an alcohol pad. You could do, a tissue or cotton ball soaked in rubbing alcohol would be the same thing. So the purpose of this is just to get any additional oils, lotion, residue from the soap, anything like that off of your nails that might prevent your nail strips from adhering properly. So you want to just give each of your nails and the cuticle area, kind of a good rub with this little prep pad, and that will get your nails all ready for your nail strips. One more. All right. So once you have that done, you do want to let the alcohol evaporate, so you can blow on them or anything like that. It's should be the only step where you have to do any blowing on your nails with Color Street. It's nothing like actual nail polish where you're sitting there for hours, right? Okay, so as I said, I'm going to take my nail strips, and I already have a pretty good idea of which individual strips go on which of my fingers. I've used them enough times that I have a pretty good idea of that. So I know that the second smallest one this is going to be the one that I'm going to use on my pinky nail. So I'm going to separate that one out. So here you have your individual strip. And the first thing that you want to do, you see this purple, and if you looked all the way across, it says peel off. So this is the protective plastic that is going to keep your nail strips from drying out in the package. Now, what I want to say with that immediately is that once you open this plastic pack that they come in, they are on the clock. Like, it is a ticking time bomb. As soon as they're out of here and they're out in the air, they will start to cure. They will start to completely dry. So as you know, they're like 95% dry already on the strip. So if you do like I'm going to do, or if you open up a pack to get out a couple of strips to do a mixed manicure, make sure that you put them back in here. There's a couple of different ways that you can do it. You can use a lighter and just kind of melt it back shut. Make sure the strips are far enough down. Or maybe a less dangerous way, if you're not into trying to play with fire, is that you can actually take a hair straightener, a flat iron, and you can kind of crimp that, and the heat from the flat iron will melt it back shut. They are not going to be good for a year once you have done that. That's about how long they're good for before they're opened. So you want to make sure that you use them up. So if you use, half set, or use a couple for mixed manicure, make sure that you get those open and get the rest of them on your fingers as soon as you can. Okay, so I'm going to peel off the protective layer. See, it just comes right off, and there it is. Now, like I said, I'm going to stretch this and make 2 sets, or 2 applications out of 1 set. So I'm going to use only one of the 2 whole strips here. So you get, 8 on a strip. I'm going to use just 8 of them to do both hands, because like I said, I've got pretty short fingernails and I can do that. If you've got long nails, you'll have to kind of check and see if your nail goes more than halfway, and I know that mine definitely don't. All right, so what I'm gonna do is fold this strip in half so I know right where the middle is, and you don't want to fold it, of course, all the way down to the bottom, because this is all the excess right here. And I know for this particular strip, you can see when I fold it over that there's quite a bit. It's quite a bit wider on the other end, so this is the only one that I really have to do a little bit of work on. So I'm just gonna take my scissors here, and I'm gonna cut this one around to make it kind of the same width. So I have my strip, and then I'm just going to put my scissors in there, cut it in half. Shh, don't tell. It's a secret. Okay, then when you do it this way, it's a little tougher to get the actual nail strips separated from the backing paper, but there we go. Okay, so get that backing paper off. And now you have your strip, and it is a little bit sticky, and so you just want to hold on to it, and you're going to line it up with the bottom of your fingernail. You can see there. And then you want to look and see if you're going to need to stretch it either way. So I'm looking on the inside of my finger. I know it's going to be really hard to see. That's going to fold over nice and fit my nail. But on this side, I think I'm going to need a little bit extra. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it down on the side where I know it's going to fit. And then this other side, I'm going to give it a gentle little stretch. And that's the best thing about these, is they are a little bit malleable. The glitters are better than the solid colors when it comes to being able to stretch them. And so once I have it stretched over my nail, oh, those are so cool. Look at how cool that looks. All right, then I'm going to use my finger and just sort of press it down onto the nail, working from the cuticle up to the tip. Give it lots of pretty good pressure until it starts to fold over the end of my fingernail. Now that's important because you want to try to get it to adhere to the edge because that will keep it from chipping down a little bit better. So I'm going to really kind of push that down pretty good, and it will actually start to tear. I don't know how well you can see that. You can see right here in the middle where it's starting to tear a little bit. And that's what you want. You want it to tear across the top of your nail. And then you can usually take the fingernail, the similar fingernail in the other hand, and just kind of run it underneath there and pinch it off. The instructions say for you to use a file to do this, but I find that sometimes I catch the edge of it with the file. So it's actually better if I do it just with my fingernail. And then I can just peel it off my finger where it had stuck. And there it is.